See, I told you it was a good idea to bring those movies down so I could stack it all on top. Do yourself tripod. There we go.
It definitely works.
I think the best thing of doing TMNT Movie Week was getting these shirts out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, these are really nice.
Yeah, there was... I was trying to find something because I didn't want to do, like, anything Michael Bay related, so I'm like, well, I don't want to wear the bandanas because it doesn't make any sense, as I feel so indifferent compared to the First and the Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll get these sweet shirts that are on sale for $16.
Yeah, and they're really nice. They're very, very nice and very fitting.
I'll say, if it was the other way, you'd be like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm the sequel. Oh, I just felt like I sat through a long Saturday morning cartoon block.
Yeah.
That I have not experienced since 1999.
Yeah.
Science fiction, double feature, Dr. X, build a creature.
So as you can probably tell, I've been having an interesting week.
Yeah.
So much overwhelmingness, battling allergies and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So of course I'm in the right mood to see this movie, and thank goodness it was actually good.
Oh, I had a feeling it was going to be good. It looked really promising. I mean, the fact that they had actual teenagers be the brothers, it's like, thank you. Because the other voice acting isn't bad, but...
Oh, in the previous entries?
But I felt like the Michael Bay movie, to me, they didn't feel like they were teens in that.
Well, you can
Not
argue
really.
the same thing with the others, too. Like, they had that aspect nailed, was more like adulthood, in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, the only teenager-esque element was them eating pizza. And
Yeah.
pop culture references and things like that.
Like, maybe you could see them as older teens in those movies, but, like, in this one, they definitely felt like, the quirky, mischief you would get into when you were 15 years old.
Now, this one definitely focuses on the teenager aspect of the Turtles, which was missing in the other versions, and that really what helps that stand this out so much from some of the others. I dug the animation. It was done by the same director who did Mitchell vs. the Machines, a movie that really surprised me.
Yeah.
In this day and age, a lot of folks are trying to go for like this different angle with making it look hand-drawn, but it's done computerized, and that's fine. I mean, Spider-Verse started that whole thing, and I guess it depends on the style and the look of the film, and it's very fitting here.
Oh my god, yes.
It's like a child's drawing come to life, but it's just so beautiful.
And it looks like a graphic novel, too.
Yeah.
I just love the art style, and like how water is just kind of like lines, but it just works so well.
I will say the 2007 film, that's probably closer to the look of the Eastman and Laird comics. This one is so radically different that it feels like it's trying to be like really dead between. So you have the darkness of the comic, but it still has that lightness like the cartoon show.
Yeah.
It's just very stylized, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked the look, especially New York a couple of times. And there's just surreal angle to a lot of the mutant characters when you see them later on.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned when I saw images of Bebop and Rocksteady because they look so irregular. But you see the other lineup, and it's like, okay, I can definitely see it fitting into this kind of universe.
Yeah.
Superfly by Ice Cube, Mondo Gecko as Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Hannibal Buress as Genghis Frog did not disappoint me. He should have gotten more lines, but he didn't disappoint me. Brother, compared to this one, how would you rank the other Turtle movies that we've gotten since 1990?
So I would rate the 1990 movie as the top.
Mhm.
This one's second.
Yep.
2007 film is third.
Mhm.
Secret of Ooze is fourth. The Michael Bay movies, fifth and sixth. And I'm sorry, third movie, but you're on the bottom.
I'm not going to argue because I had to rewatch that one for TMNT Movie Week, and yeah, it's terrible, but there's reasons behind why, and I can understand it, but that doesn't excuse it for
Yeah, it could have been a much better movie, and they just botched it. Like,
Yeah.
the Michael Bay movies, I didn't see the second one, but
Good.
my sister told me about it, and I saw your review of it, and I really wasn't missing much. I mean,
No.
the first one was okay. I remembered enjoying it when I saw it, but I don't think it's one I would enjoy now.
It's funny you should say that because I had a bad experience while seeing that movie. I'd go like in a whole spiel in the video, but like it was it was so terrible. There were so many families in the audience. I think it was a Friday or it was around opening weekend.
Yeah.
And I just saw it because, sure, there's nothing else. I already saw Guardians the week before, and that was, the go-to. It was awful. It was so awful. It was... Do I compare this to a war zone? No, I don't want to be that harsh. There was, midway through the movie, there were a bunch of crying kids being let out of the theater, and I just remember sitting there having this really, really miserable time.
Yeah.
And the way the film was shot, and how the sound mix was, all the shing, I'm just like, it's getting me. It's really getting me.
Yeah.
Even after leaving the theater, too, it was so hot outside. It was like walking out of a toaster oven and going into a full gas fueling oven.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get that here. I was very overwhelmed and stressed out because of things that were happening this week. So I'm going to just it better be good, and thank God it was.
Yeah.
I just remember just walking out of that going, I'm so glad I saw this.
Yeah.
I needed a good movie this week.
And it was a good way to change up the story. They don't have the Shredder be the bad guy in this movie, and that was a nice change of pace.
Which I'm okay with, because they've done the Shredder way too many times.
Yeah.
If they did him one more time, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I can kind of see why, but I'm glad it's something entirely different. Of course, without going too deep, they do change up something, which I'm going to let that go, because it's pretty minor. Baxter Stockman is supposed to be the fly creature because he somehow mutates with it. It's almost similar to the Fly from the 50s and the 80s, though both are very, very different. Though it's more in tune with the Cronenberg Fly, where he kind of mutates into the fly and things like that. Here it's different. Stockman is the inventor of the ooze thing, but he creates other mutants. Okay, I'm okay with that setup. I'm not gonna jump on and be all nitpicky and say that's not how it was in the source. No, it's fine, because the movie's message is about knowing who your family is, and I can be okay with that. I'm fine with that, because of the way it's set up and the way it pays off. And what they do with the Superfly character, played by Ice Cube, and how that carries over, where it mirrors what even Splinter went through too, where they thought, oh hey, maybe we can be accepted by humans. Nope, clearly not,
No.
in a realistic setting. So you have one direction, that being Splinter, which is, let's just hide into the city, do our thing, and just chill and stuff. Or else Superfly's like, I'm gonna exterminate the human race, mothers! Wow. The directions they take with the villain, this is the kind of villain stuff I love.
Yeah.
Where they are unhinged, hold no boundaries, and just go all out. This is what I am missing from today's comic book films. They just don't give a cent of humanity. And the plan that he makes actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Without going too deep into it, it actually works. This is what was missing from the Super Mario Brothers movie. I wanted Bowser to be this complete tyrant that wants to just burn the universe. No, it's just I'm gonna simp for the princess. That's it? Really? But that was like that in the games where he wanted to marry Princess Peach on the moon. Fine. Sure. This is the kind of villain I want from a movie that is just fearful. I want this kind of challenge, please. And I am thankful they go in that direction. So it's not yeah, we're going to destroy New York and take over. No. His plan actually does make sense. And I like that, how they incorporate that whole thing, especially with the crew that he has.
Yeah.
It was so nice to see some little nods to the cartoon, too. Even if they are kind of subtle, because I think in one shot, you see a blueprint of the Mausers, which are kind of nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you think they'll bring that for the sequel?
Maybe.
It's already greenlit, so there you go.
Yeah, I know the Mausers. Were they in the 80s too?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the 3rd or 4th episode, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Because even the Mausers were in the comics too, because Stockman was the inventor of the Mausers, and he used those in the comics to steal.
Yeah, that's
money
how it was
and
in the 4Kids show, because the 4Kids show is very much like the comics.
Was he a Blackster Stockman?
Yes, he was.
Oh, nice.
And, oh god.
So I'm going to have to make that little change there. Tyler Perry is the first live-action Blackster Stockman.
Yeah, because he...
Oops!
Yeah, because he was definitely black in the 4Kids show. He was great. I loved that.
I don't know why he was Caucasian in the 87 show, but that is what it is. Well, then again, Uncle Phil voiced Shredder in the animated series, but I'm not going to tussle on that one. How do you feel about... oh god, I'm blanking out for a second there. Jackie Chan as Splinter.
I thought he was good.
Compared to all the other Splinters we have.
He's not my favorite, but he made me think of Mako's Splinter.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little. Though Mako was a little more strict, this one's more like trying to be a fatherly figure.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
Well, he's always been a fatherly figure, more like he's trying to connect with his sons now that they're teenagers and they want to be more independent.
True. But the Splinter I love is how he can be so secretly unhinged. Like, one minute he's saying all this wise, like, knowledgeable kind of spiel, and the next minute he'll be doing, like, a Three Stooges slap to Shredder. That's the that's the Splinter I like the most.
Yeah.
Where he looks so calm and zen, but at the most unpredictable moment, he'll go nuts. I just love Splinter when he's like that. I was okay with this one. The direction they go with is basically, oh no, the surface rejects us, so we gotta be safe in here. What I like about that angle, too, is how he really does try to connect with them. Like, really does. There's a moment when they come back from the surface and he has, like, all these cardboard cutouts of humans and balloons and pizza and stuff. I was hoping for maybe a little more of that scene to play on. I don't know how, but just a part of me was like, that is a good way to do it. So that way it's not completely, oh, we can't go up to the surface, blah, 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 bleep, bleep, bleep. But no, here they're actually doing different angles of that.
Yeah.
So it's not like just this grumpy, we're going to ban you from this and ban that. No. He's actually trying to make like a commitment to connect with these kids and things like that. And that definitely worked. And especially near the end, too, when the tension really rises. And here you have Splinter realizing, oh no, this is not the way to go.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I'm going to protect him from what's going to happen above.
Yeah.
I like that. I like how that mirrored off of Superfly's intent.
Yeah.
Which does
make sense. Or him
sense.
seeing how Superfly is, he realizes, like, I could be like this if I go down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And it's like, we are going to be no better than the humans if we go down the path that Superfly wants us to go down.
Yeah. You know, as much as I have a soft spot for Secret of the Ooze, this gets a major level up for one big thing. Mutant brawling, which was missing in Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
Seriously, when Token and Razzler get created, I wanted to see all-out fights. I wanted to see all-out brawls. This delivered.
Yeah.
Greatly.
Yeah.
Who would you say is your favorite mutant of the bunch?
I liked this movie's version of Bebop and Rocksteady.
They were okay.
And I liked, the Gecko guy.
Oh, Mondo Gecko.
Mondo Gecko.
Yeah, by Paul Rudd.
Him. Yeah.
Ant-Man.
I like the Bat Lady, too.
Oh, Wingnut, I believe she's called. I wish I could remember the actress's name. I know they have Leatherhead, but that's played by a different actress. Brother, there's another one, too, like Scumbug, or... There's a couple of new ones in the batch I didn't recognize. I didn't know if they were poured over some, like, different incarnations. And if they are, I'm okay with that. Especially Genghis Frog, who's been there from the 87 show.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that sold me on this movie. It's like, ooh, Hannibal Buress, Eric Andre's sidekick from this show's in the movie. Sold. He's the gym teacher in the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I tell you, that man's a criminal. That was the big selling point, but I'm glad I did see this. I love the angle they did with the main turtles. The idea of them being younger, I thought, was a very smart direction to take them in. Because you definitely get in that mindset where they're kids and learning more about the world, and here they're at this point where they're kind of crossing the threshold of getting older. They want to go outside their comfort zone and do some stuff, and even near the end, they do toy around with some ideas that I would love to see them bring to the table in future things.
Yeah.
Which I would love to see. How do you feel about this? What do you think of April O'Neil in this one?
I liked her.
I didn't mind the alterations. I was okay with her being a high schooler and stuff like that. The one big laugh in the whole thing, I never thought I'd see to expect to get out of this, is a puking gag done like something out of Nickelodeon. Which,
yeah, that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
It felt like something out of You Can't Do That on Television, but to an extreme. And I was telling you later how that worked, because it's done in an absurd kind of manner. It's not like realistically thinking. If it was realistic, thank goodness it's just a fountain lava of Nickelodeon slime coming out of her. Very rarely do puke gags work, but that's one where it actually does, because of the consequences it drags onto.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This was so entertaining. The action scenes are just right there. The animation is good. The creativity. You can tell they're having a blast with this. Just a pure ball. Just what characters and creatures are we going to work with? What directions can we take them in so it doesn't feel so generic and roundabout? And as much as I like some of the past incarnations of the previous entries, you really do feel like this is definitely a fresh upgrade for the others.
Yes.
And that's something I've definitely appreciated after reviewing all those movies last time, is that I can look at each one and say, okay, this one's different because it's doing more from the comics. This one's different because it's channeling the cartoon. This one is shit. Moving on. And so forth and so forth. Oh, brother, if I had to rank this, I would definitely put it a little under the 1990 movie. It comes so close. That first time around is just so honorable to the source, and you could tell because Steve Barron and the crew, they literally just studied that comic, even to the point that we're tearing out pages from the issues and saying, it's this scene, this scene, this scene. You see all this. We're going to take this and string a movie into them. And by God, it worked. Very rarely does that even work. Because there are some films where they're just pulling out random scenes and saying, okay, we got to do something with this because it's crucial and stuff like that. No. Here, they're looking at the past ones and saying, what directions have they not gone into? What are things that we can do that they haven't gone? And I think here, it succeeds really, really well. If you have kids, they're definitely going to get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that's, like, going to be turn-offable. There's some intense moments here and there, but it's like a 1980s level of PG, which I'm okay with. Especially the intimidation of the villain, so I definitely say this is worth seeing in theaters.
Yeah.
Alone. Is it going to beat Barbenheimer? Probably not. But you know what? It was worth seeing a good movie at best.
Yeah.
Especially given how dull this summer kind of has been.
Yeah.
At the sound of the tone, it will be just 5 minutes to showtime. There's still plenty of time to visit the refreshment stand. When you hear the tone, it will be just 3 minutes to showtime. Still time to visit the refreshment stand before the next feature starts. There's just 1 minute to showtime. After the next feature begins, the refreshment stand will continue to serve you. It will remain open, so there's still time to add to the fun of enjoying the movie. When the show is over, please remember to place the speaker back on its stand. If the speaker is accidentally broken, please let someone at the refreshment stand know about it. We appreciate your coming out to the drive-in tonight. When you leave, please drive carefully. We hope you'll come back again soon. And now, showtime.
Yeah, so the second movie we watched today, we didn't watch it in theaters. I don't think they released it in theaters.
Unless you count the Comic-Con screening, but there's like a
Maybe.
whole complication to it.
Yeah.
I'll let you take the reins, because...
Yeah, we watched the Venture Brothers movie, which is the ending of the series. Unfortunately, the show was canceled, which a lot of the fans were mad about, but they did give us this movie, and I would say it was a good way to end the series. If you're not familiar with the series, I would say before you watch this movie, watch the series first and then watch the movie. Just to warn you, though, the pilot is really bad.
I didn't mind the pilot too much, but I kind of know what you're getting at, because it is a rough start, and the animation is just not fully there. It's kind of choppy. And the writing, it's a little lackluster, but I do kind of like the idea of Rusty making this pointless invention that everyone's like, why would you want to use something like that?
Yeah.
So for me, that is the big kicker. But yeah, I'm glad you introduced me to this one. I love this show.
Yeah.
I really, really do. Just the universe they play around with, and I don't think they've resolved the Brick Frog situation. I just realized that. Oh my god.
Well, I'm hoping...
I'm not trying to give too much away, but it's like, oh my goodness.
I'm thinking that they're going to try to make more movies. I'm hoping that they will. I mean, they left it open, I would say. Like, it had a conclusion, but they did leave it open.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like a whole lot, but at least enough to like for them to come back and revisit. But if this is the final one, I'm okay. You know, I am glad I was able to see enough of what was there. I'm glad to see this whole world and these characters. That's really the fun thing about it. It does feel like this incredible spoof of not only just Johnny Quest, but also the superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these many different incarnations of like characters. It just feels like an adult Saturday morning cartoon, but it's so tongue-in-cheek that you can just look at these characters and go, oh, I know what that's a reference of, but you just admire the playful ability and just the backgrounds they give them in. There's even some new ones here. I hate allergies. There's even some new ones here they toss in too. I'm like, oh hey, it took them this long to do a parody of Darkman. That's actually kind of neat. As with the plot, it's a little hard to boil down because, again, if you haven't seen the series, you are going to get lost. I do agree. If you see the show prior on hand and then get to this one, it does feel very satisfying because of all the setups and the things they do prior. The original motif the original creators had was just a look at failure and how everyone just strives to achieve the impossible, but they can't. I'm glad they decided to go a different direction in later seasons because, yeah, you kind of want to see them turn around and succeed a little bit.
Yeah.
And so here you have Rusty making this device, which is quintessentially an Amazon talk device. And what they do with that, there are some playful ideas. I wish they went a little more to it. Again, without spoiling too much or going too deep into it. I do like the ideas that they have where it's this faulty, defective thing, and he's just showing it off like, okay, we can just re-advertise it as this. And
we'll just jack out the price.
Exactly. So you see like this scene where he's like preparing this big prep day, and in the background there's a PowerPoint presentation. They keep changing like the signage on what it is and the price. And they change it from like a basic like helping device to a floating head device. That was kind of neat. The stuff with Dean and Hank, I wish there was a little more of that. I kind of can see why it was just compressed to what it was. Because it does feel like a search for a character as opposed to just the two of them meeting up and stuff like that. The whole joke of the show, and this is something I like too, is how you think it's this big episodic adventure when really you take a step back and go, oh, this is just something simplistic and easy and they're just blowing out of proportion. Which I like stuff like that if it's done right. A good example, Airplane. The whole crew goes under food poisoning and they try to get out of the situation, but they treat it so serious to the point you're like, really? You're gonna panic over this? Honestly? And how it's just charted to the umpteenth degree just amazes me. And the directions they go in with the house, if you catch my drift, and how they're treating it like it's this complete eventful crime does actually get a lot of laugh out of me. Because you think about it, it's like, well, you could just simply resolve it, but the fact they treat it like it's something of utmost seriousness is just amusing. The stuff with the Monarch and Gary, I like that kind of stuff. How they're trying to evolve themselves as villains, and yet they're still pathetic. And the way they treat it is so pathetic. There's a gag where they try to get into a building, and they carve the logo of the Monarch, and they can't get the shit through. That was a good visual joke. So they're just trying to slowly slide through. Oh my goodness. I can see why they don't want to answer all the questions, like the mother and the parents, and they leave enough open to kind of give a fan basis on what they think the answers are, and I'm okay with that. If this was, like you said, if this was the final thing, you would see it as the final, but given how they are leaving the door open just a little bit, it does make me wonder if they are going to go back and continue it, and if not, I'm fine with this. It was great to see the triad back. I like Professor Orpheus and Jefferson.
Yes, and...
you should not have come back, man.
Or just the shenanigans that Gary and Malcolm get themselves in.
Oh, yeah.
And Sheila's like, oh my god, again.
That was another thing, too. I mean, it's an 80-minute sit, so it's nice and easy. It's like, I wish I had a little more of, like, this connection, this relationship. But I think it's just enough for enthusiasts of the show that they're at least going to find some enjoyment out of it. So
yeah.
I definitely was very pleased by this.
Yeah.
Newcomers will be lost, but those who really have been attached to the show, they're going to get a kick out of this.
Yeah. I'd recommend, if you want to watch the movie, watch the show first if you haven't seen the show, because if you try to watch it, you'll get lost.
Yeah, especially given the connections that there are.
Yeah.
Like, is this person connected to this person, things like that. Like, those more quintessential elements are important, not like this big earth-shattering plot that's going to destroy all. It's really more or less within the family. And it's funny how these two movies we've seen kind of complement that sort of message.
Yeah.
When you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's all about the family is who you believe is family, the people you choose in life. And I think that there is the glue that holds all these together, which is very nice.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that this is not... without giving too much weight, it doesn't end cynically. It's definitely a little more heartwarming, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, you do want something like that.
Yeah.
That to me is the perfect balance of something that is adult. It's not channeling all these gross-out gags. It's really going into these mature themes, and while satirizing them, they do have a respect for it, and that's what I really loved about it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah. So the trailers...
there were only 2.
Well, 3, but one of them, the
3.
Wish, remember?
Oh,
we've already talked about Wish. It's the
that.
same trailer. It was freaking Paw Patrol is the first one.
They're superheroes now thanks to a meteorite.
Yeah, it looked like it was ripping off Power Rangers. Like, they even have the Mighty Morphin or something. It's like, Power Rangers, hello?
It's funny you should say that, because weirdly you want to know what movie it was reminding me of.
What?
I don't know why. It just popped in there. I see the giant meteor go to the Earth, and then I hear, "Dur, dur, 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 I got the power!" And I'm like, yes, thank you. I should be watching the trailer to the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1983. Thanks for reminding me that.
Well, when I hear I got the power, I just think of Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but for some weird reason I just think of the Mario Brothers movie because it has a sweet remix of the power that's never been released. Because they have that underground,
Yeah.
and it's never been released. It's been driving me nuts. But yeah, Wish was the other one, and oh my god.
Was there another one aside from...
Technically, and my jaw dropped because I'm like, no, this can't be another one of these.
Another Spy Kids movie. That wasn't part of the official trailers, but wasn't there a third official trailer too?
Shoot. I remember
Paw Patrol.
I remember Paw Patrol,
Wish.
the Mighty movie, Wish. I feel like there should be a third one, but maybe... I just remember those two and that Spy Kids movie. Oh, Spy Kids Armageddon. It's the same plot as All the Time in the World.
Oh, our parents are spies. Let's become Spy Kids. Ta-ta! Don't ask why I did that voice.
Wait. Parents get kidnapped. It's the same freaking movie for the first.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is they don't have the 3D or the smell-o-vision cards.
After the trailer, I even turned to you and I said, "Is this a reboot?" Because
I'm just sitting there going, I don't know, but this is the same plot to movie number 4, which I didn't see for the life of me. I
remember liking the first one, but the last time I saw that was when I was a kid. I don't know if I'd like that now.
I remember seeing that one in theaters. It was fun, but...
Machete in that is the same Machete.
Oh, I know you're referring to David
and that's
Trejo's
canon,
character.
so it's like, oh, that's funny, because, Spy Kids is a kid movie, and then you see the Machete movie, and it's all, like, blood and gore, and... Yeah.
Oh, brother. That actually spawned off of Grindhouse. Yeah, I remember seeing that one with you. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
I didn't mind. I got to show you Grindhouse in the future. That's another good one too, because you have like two so totally different films. You have this post-apocalyptic zombie movie where Rose McGowan is a go-go dancer with a gun for the leg, and then you have Kurt Russell as like a killer stunt car driver that gets the best of him because of a group of ladies decide to take the upper hand on him. There's some. If you can get through a lot of the jib-jab, because it's a very, very talkative movie, there are some really good car chases, I'll give that much. But no, I'm just like... Why are they making another one?
Yeah.
Why?
Especially
Why is it called Armageddon, of all things?
Yeah, it just seems like a rehash of the original.
That and also movie number 4, which I told you a funny story behind that one. I went to see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I think it was like 2010, if I'm not mistaken, or 2011, somewhere in that range. It was when I was reviewing Buddy that year. And I remember I was going to see it on my birthday, and I see like this whole stack of scratch and sniff cards for Spy Kids 4, and I just gleam over, I'm like, do you mind if I take a couple, just they smell? And the ticket lady reception was like, no, you can take like a whole majority of the stack. No one's seeing this movie. I'm like, oh my god. Wow. So yeah, those were our 2 cents.
Yeah. 2
animated movies in there worth seeing. One's for kids, the other's for everybody.
Yeah, well it's not for kids. Venture Brothers is definitely not for kids.
No, my mistake.
Yeah.
Oxygen circulation cutting off. No, one's for kids, one's for adults, but they're both pretty good.
Yeah. Very enjoyable day. Good to see 2 good flicks. I'm hoping that they'll do more Venture Brother movies, but if they don't, then oh well. But I'm looking forward to the next Ninja Turtle movie.
Same. At least that much. But if they do something Venture Brothers related, I am a little curious.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I gotta get you in the tick at some point. Because I know one of the original creators was a writer for that show. And there are some similar vibes. It's a little more brighter, per se, but you have to see where the strings and DNA of Venture Brothers kind of stemmed from in a way. Just from a writing standpoint.
Yeah.
There are some good things there. Come, Arthur. No, not the face! Alright.
Well, we'll see you all next time. Until then, bye.
Don't know how, don't know when. Oh, did you catch the nod to Seeker the Ooze at one point?
I might have.
Go ninja, go
yes,
ninja.
Yes.
Go ninja, go ninja.
The ninja rap.
We will never forget that piece of infamy.
Nope.
Yeah.